Hello, boys and girls, to this late edition of Ask Guillem. Lots of you questions. And I want to start, of course, to do my sending off to Diego Armando Maradona. I've written extensively both for his birthday, first of all, and then, of course, after his departure. You've seen in my timeline on Twitter and on Instagram the videos I've done from Napoli, because I was in Milan for the Inter-Real Madrid game, covering it for CBS. And then we heard the story, we heard the news, so we had to cover it there. I thought we explained the story of what he meant to Napoli, to football, and I had the urge to go to Napoli. I said, I have to go once I'm in Italy. Why not? I crossed paths with Emilio Butragueño, who is a player from his generation, and they actually played against each other 6 times. And he was proud to tell me that he never lost against Maradona. But yeah, I went to Napoli, and what I found was different to the pictures I was seeing from Buenos Aires. In Buenos Aires, people were crying. It was like you were taking somebody very close to their heart away, and understandably so. I know there are criticisms from all the sides, and it's only fair that gets reflected as well, because some people say that you should relate the homage of the player to the person. I have my thoughts about him as a person and him as a player, which I'll leave for the book, because it is, how can I put it? There is at least 100 different Maradonas, but they're all the same person and embody the same person. So if you tell me, do you have to celebrate somebody that was extraordinary as a footballer, but then we push them up to the top and we ask him to be extraordinary constantly, and then when it all goes wrong, it was like, he just wasn't strong enough, was he? Or do we actually say, actually, it's partly our fault, and giving him an homage is a way of saying also sorry. But at the same time, later in his life, when he stopped being a player, he made many mistakes, and I'm not sure he was aware that some of them were mistakes, and he wasn't aware that he had to apologize for them. So it is a very complex character that, as I say, to judge it, you have to read the whole book, which will come out the 8th of July. It's already for sale now in Amazon at the moment. And he has a lot of stories and a lot of anecdotes, but mostly focus in his time as a footballer, because that's what I think it's what will remain in the memory of many. When I went to Napoli, as I said, in Buenos Aires I saw people crying. In Napoli, I saw a bunch of youngsters in the thousands. In the stadium, there was at some point around 10,000 youngsters outside the stadium with red flares all around the stadium. 500 at the time I arrived, about 5 o'clock, but then every hour was another 1,000 more. In any case, these were youngsters that heard about Maradona from their parents, of course, who kept saying, "Yo visto Maradona, yo visto Maradona, I've seen Maradona," but they hadn't. What they wanted to do was reivindicate his figure, his legend. They were trying to say, you're not dead. You will remain in our memories as somebody that took us out from a very low point and put us right in the center of the world. And that's something, of course, that anybody will miss. And anybody who's done that for anybody, he will be homaged and remembered. And that's what the youngsters, men, not many women, of Napoli were doing in the stadium, and that's what I witnessed. Anyway, I wanted to put all that across. As you can see through this picture, he signed a Big Also United shirt. This was before an interview that we did in Amman, in Jordan, and it was an hour interview that's in my YouTube channel, and soon we'll have subtitles as well in English, and because I think it's worthwhile rescuing. And he saw in what we call the green room, just before we walk into the stage, you sit down and have a coffee or tea or whatever drink that is, and then you kind of relax with the person you're about to be on the stage with. And there's the opportunity to sign things, and there were like 10 Argentina shares that were lined up for him to sign, and then he ignored them all. And then he saw this red one. It's like, what's that? I said, oh, because we're United. We are in the 9th division. I'm at the time I was the director of football. And he said, do you want me to sign it? Yes. Do you want to take a picture with it? Yes, please. So he did that, and it's hanging in the clubhouse next to the Messi one as well. So one day, if you're in Bickleswade, come over and have a look at this jewel of a memento. On what's happened during the week, I want to start with this picture of Hazard's injury. This is minute 17. He feels a knock. He has a pain, continues playing. Then he gives a pass to Marcelo. Then he feels something in the back of his leg and realizes that perhaps it's a muscle injury. Decides to come off for precaution. And then, yes, it's going to be at least 20 days off. Could even be a month off. So he's missed for the 35 games at Real Madrid already, when actually I think it was about 20 for Chelsea in the, 6-7 years that he was there. Really bad luck and no real explanation for it, but that's how it goes. And for Real Madrid, they basically put all the money to get this guy that's going to make them win the games even when they don't deserve it. You know, that's the kind of stars that Real Madrid have always had. When sometimes they don't play their best football, they come out with something that hides the cracks. Well, it's not happening here because Hazard is not important to the team. So imagine taking João Felix from Atletico Madrid or Griezmann from Barcelona, same effect. And I think that's making life difficult for Real Madrid. Boyards is asking, what changes do you think Koeman made that allowed Griezmann to play at his full potential? Does he have anything to do with playing an actual number 9 like Braithwaite? Will he be able to replicate the same against better teams? Yes, Braithwaite helps, definitely. I look closely at the role of Griezmann and Braithwaite for La Liga TV today, actually. And what I saw was that, yes, Braithwaite obviously attracts 1 or 2 defenders, the centre-backs. He fixes them and allows a little bit pockets of space that Griezmann can take advantage of. But I thought there was something else. I thought there was a happiness in what he did, a confidence that has appeared. Perhaps he's released a lot of a weight in his shoulders by talking publicly about how difficult it has been for him at the moment that he's got a good relationship with Messi. He spoke to Jorge Valdano, Griezmann, and it seems, he's taking a weight off his shoulders and seemed a different player. But he's helped to have a reference up front, to get to exchange 26 passes between Messi and Griezmann. That definitely helps. You can grow through that too. A team that was well organized offensively, with the fullbacks really wide, with Coutinho also a little bit behind the strikers, with, as I said, Messi linking up well. So there were a lot of things that worked very well. For Griezmann to work well, the team has to work well, and that's what happened. Patrick is saying, what are the chances for Laporta winning the elections, and will he bring Haaland as his star signing? I don't think there is money to sign anybody at Barcelona. It's not about that. It's about what can you do with the financial situation of the team, and how can you come out of it in 2 or 3, 4 years? That's what has to happen. So trust the La Masia, make 1 or 2 signings if they sell players, because their situation is really poor. So I don't know if anybody will be brave enough to say, I'm going to bring this or that, because there is no money. So Laporta today, presented himself as a candidate. He sounded like a president more than a candidate. He was quite Steinman's-like in the way he talked, and he doesn't come for a battle. He comes, to do what he calls the biggest challenge of his life, to get Barcelona out of the hole that he's fallen into. Chances of winning, he is the favourite, you have to say. Victor Font being the other one as well. Victor Font presents a project that has been working on for like 5 years. Laporta has got 15,000 votes for sure. Even in the last elections, he didn't do a great effort, but those 15,000 votes will remain there, I think. So it's going to be difficult for Victor Font to get his name well known and his project well presented and well known as well to the fans of Barcelona. They tend to be quite conservative. They know Laporta, they don't know so much Victor Font. But let's see if Victor manages to change that. So we'll see. Gary Leonard, he said, what do you think of the Vizier way of dealing offsides? Should the Premier League consider it? VAR is not the solution of everything. VAR are decided by humans. There always will be a controversy because the decisions will be depending on what the humans think. And so what? Who told you that VAR was just going to be black or white? That doesn't exist. It's the grays that make this game interesting. The worrying, but I said it from the beginning, is that VAR changes the game because it's a dynamic game. And now we're saying, okay, well, wait 2 or 3 minutes for this to be sorted, the machines to come out with a solution. Not the machines, the humans using the machines. Now, that's something that seems that is going to stay on. So, people are going to have to adapt to that. It's a shame because teams work to create a rhythm, a pattern, a way of playing, a way of distributing the ball, of getting comfortable with it to get the best out of their players. And they work at that. And all of a sudden, VAR says like, all right, stop for 2 minutes. I think that goes with against the essence of football. Stephen Johnson saying, is Arteta still the right manager for Arsenal? Should I ignore that? If you are the type of fan that judges after every game, then they lost, so he's not. But if you're the kind of guy that sees the bigger picture and sees what's happening at the club and what's needed, of course he's the right manager. Give him time. You cannot judge him yet, but it will be a time where he will have to be judged. By that point, come back to me. And I think you'll agree with me that Arteta will have done a good job at Arsenal. That's what I think. Last one, Larry says, do you think Real Madrid see the decision to let Reguilon go as a mistake given his form at Tottenham? No, because Zidane took the decision. He wanted to keep Marcelo, which that for me is a mistake quite clearly, and wanted to give Mendy the number one role as left back, who is a very, very good left back. Doesn't trust Reguilon, that's it. So it cannot be a mistake when Zidane had a very clear understanding of what the three can offer. Now, from my point of view, yes, Reguilon should be at Real Madrid. Okay, what do I do this week? I'm going to Madrid to see Atletico Madrid Bayern Munich. I'll do some Instagram stories there, from there possibly. That's for CBS. Then come back, prepare. Of course, on Thursday is always a busy day. In La Liga TV, we'll be doing a show about Espanyol, and hopefully I'll be talking to a top player and interviewing him. And 5 Live will be at 9 p.m. UK time. We'll do the Euro Leagues, and then back on La Liga TV, or I think it's Friday and Saturday or Sunday. I can't remember. I'll have to have a look. So, time to rest right now. See you later. Bye.